Next on Belmont Park Live, Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott thought highly enough of import filly Beckoning to place her in a graded stakes in her U.S. debut. She tries again for her first states victory. 3-year-old filly Alba Rebello was sensational in her last start at Keeneland. Will that Kentucky form translate to Belmont as she faces winners for the first time? Great reviews as an experience edge on Alba Rebello. Not to mention, she ran the field off their feet in her last start at Gulfstream Park. And Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Justify is rolling right along in his Belmont preparations. We'll hear from his trainer Bob Baffert as a date with destiny awaits as Justify attempts to become the next Triple Crown winner. Welcome to Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to be with you as we start off a new week of racing here on this Thursday afternoon. American Pharoah, the 12th and last Triple Crown winner for Bob Baffert back in 2015, and now Bob Baffert trying to become just the second trainer ever to sweep 2 Triple Crowns. That will happen a week from Saturday on June the 9th right here at Belmont Park with Justify in action. Greg Wolf, former Dodger and Met. Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling. Gabby Gaudet with us today as well. She'll join us in just a little bit. Interesting card this afternoon. We have the late pick 4 coming up in that 8th race. Alba Rebello touted highly in that last out effort and ran to it in that maiden win at Keeneland.
Well, it was touted first time out, Andy, and didn't break well, and she made up for it and almost won the race. And they sent her off at even money last time, and she won like an even money shot. But today she's going to have to beat a little bit tougher field and some older fillies as well.
This is a field where you look through it and you feel like pretty much everybody has a chance to win. Some extremely competitive races on today's card.
Pick 4 begins in this next race coming up here with more on this race and today's card. Let's check in with Gabby Gaudet. Good to have you back, Gabby.
Thanks. Good to be back, Greg. And this is a very competitive field coming up next. A pretty talented fillies here. And we'll start with the potential favorite in the one, Monimo, for trainer Jimmy Toner. I really like what I'm seeing from this filly here today. Now, I don't have a lot of experience in what she's looked like in the past, except at Gulfstream 2 starts back, but she really has gained a ton of muscle. She looks incredibly fit. She's really touting herself. As soon as they put the saddle on, she kind of tucked up and bowed her neck. She looks great to me, probably one of the better ones here in the paddock. Unfortunately, she was caught behind a buzzsaw last time out in Okinawa. Now, the 5 data dependent, she is cutting back in distance, and I like that for her. She sometimes has that closing kick that isn't really effective going the mile, but the cut back in distance to the 7/8, I think that will exaggerate her closing kick, and she looks pretty good in the paddock for Chad Brown, but has been disappointing in her last 2 starts. Hopefully she likes a little bit of a firmer ground. Last but not least, the 7 Beckoning for trainer Bill Mott. Saw her last time out at Tampa in the Florida Oaks. I thought that was an interesting spot to put her in after just breaking her maiden in Ireland. She is stout. That is the only way I can describe her. She's kind of low to the ground. She's very athletic, and she's got a bit of an attitude here today, too. I like what I see from her a bit better today than what I saw last time out. She's a little bit more settled. She's dappled. She looks great and ready to go as riders are up here, and they're heading out to the track, Greg.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Post-parade coming up momentarily. Here's today's action. Race 6 kicks off this late pick 4, 7 furlongs on the turf. Then we're on the main track for a $25,000 claiming race. Entry-level allowance sprint in the 8th race 9, 1 mile on the turf. New York bred maiden claiming group. Good sequence that we have for you this afternoon. Our weather and track conditions, they're brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Main track, fast, turf is firm on this Thursday afternoon here at Belmont. And still plenty of time to put a pick 4 together. 117,000 plus already in the pool. Here's a look at the field for the first leg of the sequence. Again, 7 furlongs on the grass, data dependent. Chad Brown, 9-5 right now.
The real question with this filly is whether or not it's been given the ground that's caused her to run poorly in her last 2, because she ran a sensational race to close out 2017 behind one of the top horses in the division, and she stunk the last 2 times she's run, but both those turfs have been off. Today, Paul, she gets firm.
Yeah, and her debut, she was part of that significant form for Chad Brown, another runner, sort of had some issues at the beginning of that race, and that was one of her best races. I'm a little worried, though, that he debuted her going long, but I think the cutback will help her out as well. And she's getting played here at 8-5. She's going to be the one to look for late.
Yeah, was she just really precocious and maybe hasn't taken that step forward as a 3-year-old filly? Or as you mentioned, was it just the ground?
I don't know. Chad Brown was very high on her at the end of the year when she ran that good second at Del Mar. She has been a disappointment, but you have to hope that it was the going because today is really an important day for her.
Here is Mamanu kicking off the post parade, trained by Jimmy Toner. John Velasquez aboard.
Obviously very talented. Lost to a tough older horse last time, but is she going to get better or worse with more distance?
She's all skeet. The 4 trained by Joe Sharp. 2 back, a winner on turf at the fairground sprinting.
Well, Blinkers has obviously helped this filly, but it's not persuading the public at all. 7-2 on the morning line to 7-1.
Here's the 8-5 favorite for trainer Chad Brown. Klarovich Stables, Data Dependent.
Well, today's a make or break day. She needs to handle this firm turf today. She has not run well so far in 2018.
Big price on the board in the 6. Gypsy Janie, trained by Patrick Quick, and comes off a win that was taken off the turf at Belmont.
Yeah, and a sloppy racetrack probably helped this filly by Dahar. And maybe the blinkers, too. She's improved since the blinkers, 16-1.
Beckoning was expected to have talent right out of the gate in her debut at Dundalk back in Ireland. She comes out of the Grade 3 Florida Oaks.
Ambitious spot. Very sharp connections. Team Valor. Ambitious first time, but she did not run well.
The 8 Broadway Run, she won first time out, sprinting on the turf at Belmont for John Terranova.
Yeah, and she was 50-1 by a sire named Prospective. That stands for 3,000, but they paid 120,000, so she must be quite a looker.
And the 9 on the outside, Theodosia, for trainer Danny Gargan now taking over.
Her last race gives her a chance here, and we've seen Danny Gargan do some interesting things and good things in here, and maybe first time out, she's a long shot to take a look at.
Pick 4 time for Paula Duca. What you doing here?
Well, I thought there was no singles in this sequence. I thought it was very difficult, and I could be missing horses here, but I'm 1-4-5, 2-4-5 in race number 7. I do like the 2 going strong, but he doesn't love to win races. Hard to leave Dogtown out. In race number 8, I'm going to try to go deep because I think a lot of people will end up trying to single. Maybe the 7 in there. And then in the last race, race 9, the 5 and 8, if you're going to use another horse in there, maybe the 7, or probably the 7's the only other horse in there that can win it, for at least for me. So I'm trying to get to the last, and I think I got the 2 right horses.
It's a very tricky sequence. I mean, you use 5 in the 8th race, and I don't think you'll be shocked if you get eliminated.
No,
it's
I'm
that tough
you.
a field.
Yeah.
Here's a look at Mamanu, trained by Jimmy Toner. Gabby Gaudette's going to speak with Jimmy Toner right after the break, so stay tuned for that and the start of the late pick 4 next.
It's Run Happy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Run Happy has won the Dyrond on Tom King's Bishop by 4.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Stardoza, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
Back on Belmont Park Live, getting our week started on this Thursday afternoon. And the late pick 4 is coming up. Of course, the NYRA Bets late pick 5. Some of the best value in all of racing. It's available every day at the Belmont meets on NYRABets.com or on track in New York on Saturdays. A minimum $100,000 single ticket payout for the sequence, but only for NYRA Bets members. Visit NYRABets.com to get signed up and qualify for that minimum $100,000 single ticket payout. Trainer of the current favorite right now, that is Jimmy Toner of Mamanu. He's standing by with Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Actually, he's looking at his filly On Track right now. What do you think?
Well, she looks good. She warmed up good. She looks good. So, all we got to do is go out there and get the job done.
Now, she is getting a little bit of added distance from 3/4 last time out to 7/8 today. How do you think that the added distance is going to affect her?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. Actually, I know she'll, 5.5 to 6. I know what she is. Looking down the road, I figured, you know what, let's give us a try 7/8 today to see, if she's distance limited or if we can stretch it out a little bit. So today is like halfway, not an experiment, but trying to find out where we're at with her.
In terms of strategy, you think Johnny Velasquez will be a bit aggressive with her?
Well, I don't worry about strategy with Johnny. I mean, he just does his thing, and I leave him alone, and we go from there.
It's probably a good way to go. Now, Jimmy, you also have Hawkish, who is cross-entered at Penn National and in the Pine Ridge here on Saturday. What is the camp thinking about where he'll run?
Well, we're going to Penn. Actually, it's 2 things. First of all, it's he's 2 for 2 at a mile, broke a track record last time. So, we know he's suitable for a mile. The other side of the coin is that Mr. LaPenta has the Catholic boy in the Pennine Ridge also. So we really didn't want to be running both of them against each other at this point in time.
Makes a lot of sense for sure. Well, very talented horse. We're looking forward to seeing him at Penn National on Saturday. Looking forward to seeing Mamanoy here next up.
Thank you.
All right, Greg, back to you.
Gabby, thanks. Yeah, Hawkish, very talented horse, but that Pennine Ridge, that race is loaded.
I mean, any race that has Analyze It in it is loaded for the
Undefeated
3-year-olds.
Analyze It for Chad Brown.
He's an unusual 3-year-old, but even without him, you've got monsters in that field.
Untamed Domain, going to be running in that race as well.
Catholic Boy going back to the turf.
Going back to the turf.
Yep, tried the Triple Crown for a little bit.
You wonder if Untamed Domain has danced too many dances and running into some fresh horses, All
right, so we look forward to that. And of course, Mamanu for Jimmy Toner in this race, 9-5, current favorite. But there is data dependent. Was favored for a short time. Right now, 5-2 on the board. And again, as Andy has said, make or break race for this 3-year-old filly to see if she can get back to that 2-year-old form.
Can we talk about Paul's 4 a little bit here? I mean, you used the 4, She's All Skeet, Paul. She's my 4th choice, but I think she's a very viable long shot.
Yeah, I don't get why she is 9-1. She's running a 14-horse field. She's running some big fields. And the fairground races, although in the past, last couple of years, the turf races haven't really transferred, they did. And she ran okay in the misdirection. Now, I know there's an $80,000 tag on her, but who's really going to jump in for an $80,000 daughter of Trap Shot? So, I think she can run. If she runs a 78, 80 buyer, she's right close to the wire.
Listen, I don't love her chances, but I think 8-1 is a very generous price, and She's All Skeet, Paul, and I'll be rooting for you with the big price in the pick 4.
Here's a look at Beckoning. She was even money favorite first time out at Dundalk back in Ireland. She wound up winning the debut. And then she came to the Belmont Barn here in the States, and he put her in the Grade 3 Florida Oaks.
Boy, she's not taking much money. She did not run well at Tampa. I'm a little scared of her. I have such respect for Team Valor, the job Barry Irwin does with those horses, but I just don't know if this horse is any good.
But she wouldn't be a surprise at all, right?
It wouldn't be a shock.
She wouldn't be. She wouldn't
be. If Paul loses, she's the most likely horse to knock you out.
Yeah, it is. She is. I mean, she was even money for a reason, but you don't know who she was facing at Dundalk.
Couple left to load here, but it is Mamanu on the rail for trainer Jimmy Toner. Hall of Famer John Velasquez aboard, trying to go 2 for 3 in her turf career. Send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Broadway Run has moved into the starting gate, and here's Theodosia coming up to complete the line here. 3-2 right now on Mamanu. They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off. Data Dependent slow to begin. A good start for Mamanu from the inside. Theodosia, Broadway Run up there too with She's All Skeet. These four out for the front together. Beckoning is away running in fifth. Gypsy Janie is sixth early on. And Data Dependent trails the field 10 lengths off the lead as they head up the backstretch. Mamanu is the leader. Theodosia pressing the pace on the outside second. These two complete the first quarter mile in 22.16. She's All Skeet is third behind them. Broadway Run follows in fourth, moving for the turn. Beckoning is fifth, a good 6 lengths off the lead. It's another 4 lengths more to Data Dependent, who has gone by Gypsy Janie at the back of the field. Around the far turn, Mamanu pushed along all the way by Theodosia. The two of them are now head and head on the lead. Broadway Run edging up to them 3 wide. She's All Skeet fourth toward the inside. Beckoning within 4 lengths of the lead, running in fifth. Then Data Dependent, who's got more to do. 44.7 for the half. They're into the stretch. Mamanu off the turn in front. Broadway Run on the outside tries to run with her with a furlong to go. Theodosia gives way. She's All Skeet's down on the inside. Data Dependent is closing in from the center of the course, but it is still Mamanu holding off Broadway Run. Data Dependent is up to third on the outside as they come to the line. Mamanu holds on a half a length on the wire. Broadway Run was second. Then Data Dependent and Theodosia in 1:21.2.
It's Mamanu to kick off the late pick 4 for Jimmy Toner. John Velasquez as the 8-5 favorite.
She took all sorts of pressure. She held them off, and you can say the race was won on the front end, but it may just have been won on the front end because the best horse was the speed.
I think you're right. She took a lot of pressure, at least enough pressure to go fast. 22:44, 108. And then it looks like right here that she's putting away. But she puts the 8 Broadway Run, who, you know, David Cohen at the beginning, we were wondering why not going. I thought he made the right move now because he got up to her neck and she just couldn't go by. And the 5 on her wrong lead. It seems like she's still a tiny little bit of green.
Yeah, I mean, Data Dependent ran okay in the context of the race because horses that were forwardly placed finished 1-2. But I'll tell you, I thought she was going to get there at the 8th pole, and she didn't quite finish off. It might just be that it was a very strong race.
Yeah, it could be the break, too. Might have took the steam out of her at the end, even though she is a miler. And but she didn't break well. And I know they went quick, but if she would have broke a little bit better, maybe that kick would have helped. And we'll get to the beginning of that race and show you. But no doubt about the winner. I mean, 8-5.
Mamanu impressive, 121-1 for the 7/8 on the turf, 1:8.59. Let's go back to that start for Data Dependent. Keep your eyes on post position 5.
She just breaks a little slow. I mean, it seems like she did it to herself. And, you know, sometimes it's a sign that maybe they're not as sharp, but she ran so well in the race, relatively speaking, that maybe she just didn't break.
Yeah, and you could tell maybe down the lane the way she wasn't switching leads. Maybe her mind's just not on racing. She wasn't really ready for the start. And
Javier Castellano wanted to get her to the rail, though, so it kind of helped her to break in that direction,
well,
right?
She's obviously talented. I mean, you can tell she's trying at the end. It's just like she needs to get her mind going a little bit. She's still a 3-year-old growing.
She ran fine. Listen, she ran a lot better than she was running in the other races, so you can suggest that the softer turf was an excuse for her. She didn't win, but at least she ran well.
Yeah.
1:8.59. Mamanu, 8-5 favorite, kicks off this late pick 4. She's been pretty impressive on the grass in her 3 starts. She broke her maiden by 5.5 on the turf, and now this performance as well to add to her resume. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with prices, and we'll talk Justify. It will all be on the line for the Triple Crown in a week's time. We'll be back.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much-anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, our late pick 4 underway with the 8-5 post time favorite Mamanu on board for the winning ride. Hall of Famer John Velasquez, who's with Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks very much, Greg. And Johnny, take us through the race. I mean, the gates opened and you got pretty aggressive with her immediately.
But she was quick enough out of there, so I didn't want to take away what she was doing pretty easy. Like JJ said to me, if she breaks well, just let it do it. And if somebody else goes crazy, and then you can sit. But just give her the chance out of there and see what she is. And she broke well, just left it where she was.
And considering that she was on the lead with added distance, took pressure, I mean, how impressive was that?
She was very impressive. I mean, I was a little worried because I was pressed the whole way around, and I'm hoping that I had something left to fight with the other horses, and she did. She put every bit of that asked her to do it. She did it, and a little more.
Does she give you the impression that she could maybe get a little bit more distance, say the mile? You
know, if you go to mile, I think if we get to the last behind a couple of horses, and I think she'll be able to do it. Being on the lead, fighting the whole time is tough in any kind of event, but I think if she lasts a little bit the first part, she can go the mile.
You're on Albarabello later on today for Todd Pletcher. Aboard for the victory last time out. What has been your impression of him so far?
Well, from the first time I rode her to the second time, it was definitely a big change. You know, the first time she was all over, like did not want to go anywhere, and very green. The second time, I mean, she was in the bottle. So I think it's a cheat, right? So yeah, so she was right on the bridle, and she was much easier than the first time. So at least she had an improvement from the first time to the second time, and hopefully she can do that today.
All right, well, good luck later.
And by the way, the jockeys in California can sing.
Okay, no idea what that's about, but back to you, Greg.
So the jockeys in California can't sing?
Is he laying down the gauntlet for karaoke?
He might have been.
Did they have a karaoke function in California and they were awful?
Well, we know it's Saratoga. It's always sensational. Mid-meet, maybe?
Oh, it's mid-meet,
Yeah.
and they costume. If you ever get a chance to watch the jockeys sing, it is a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah, John was tremendous last summer. Mamanu getting the win here for trainer Jimmy Toner, owned by Sean Shea, 3-year-old filly by Congrats, out of a Grand Slam mare, Fanny Slam. Belmont Showdown. You could play all the races we show you for free and see how your handicapping stacks up against other Belmont Live fans. Visit NYRA.com/showdown to place your picks. To the player with the highest daily mythical bankroll earns 50,000 NYRA bets points. That's money in your account. Every race you win earns you a sweepstakes for a spot in the Saratoga Challenge on August 10th. Get started at NYRA.com/showdown to compete for the top spot on the leaderboard. NYRA Bets Late Pick 5. Follow along. Factor this at a price to kick things off, and then the favorite in leg 2.
Well, one's wild, Andy. How do you think the one factor this is going to play 7-1, longest shot in that short field?
Yeah, and keep in mind that a horse was scratched too that was middle bid price. So horse is almost a bigger price than the pick 5. So that one's going to blow it up.
Yeah.
It's about a week and a half away until the big day arrives. Belmont Stakes Day. Justify will be going for the sweep for the second time for trainer Bob Baffert, trying to become the 13th ever to do that. We've asked all the fans out there, what is your favorite Belmont Stakes? Your top 5. Be part of the conversation on Twitter at the NYRA, hashtag top 5 Belmonts. Get involved in this for sure. And here's one that certainly was memorable, if nothing else. There was a Triple Crown on the line for War Emblem. He stumbled out of the gate, and that was it for him. Resulted in the biggest payoff in the history of the Belmont Stakes in front of a record crowd of 103,000 plus.
For the Triple Crown, he did not break alertly. War Emblem was off near the back of the pack, and War Emblem is toiling as they turn for home. Medaglia d'Oro, Sunday break. Sarava has come on through to take the lead, and War Emblem has given way. No Triple Crown for the 24th year. Here comes Sarava and Medaglia d'Oro, though striding to the line together. Sarava on the outside. Medaglia d'Oro toward the rail. They're coming down to the finish. A huge upset is looming here under the line. Sarava has won the biggest long shot in the history of the Belmont Stakes at 70-1.
I still can't believe it. Incredible upset and kind of sweet revenge for Kenny McPeek. He actually had Repent who War Emblem had crushed in a prep in early April. And then he had the Derby favorite, Harlan's Holiday, who, of course, War Emblem got as well. Finally, he got his sweet revenge.
And, of course, Bobby Frankel got his revenge from Medaglia d'Oro when he beat Repent by a neck in the Travers, so everything went full circle. This is one of the reasons that people aren't afraid to take shots with bombs in the Belmont. The distance is a great equalizer, and Sarava, no way on paper was he competitive with those horses, but maybe the distance made a big difference for him.
Yeah, you really forget how many dances that Medaglia d'Oro really danced for a long time. And like Andy said in watching that race, if they ran that about 10 more times, I still don't think Sarava ever beats Medaglia d'Oro again.
Would never win again. But again, a horse, and this is the same for Justify as well, a lot of races in a compact amount of time. The grind of a Triple Crown. Horses can sit and wait, skip a race, be waiting for you in the Belmont. Makes a big difference.
Sarava had actually won the Sir Barton, which is an undercard race on Preakness Day. And I told everybody I work with when I was going to the Preakness, I said, forget about the Preakness, just bet Sarava, who in a 5-horse field paid $8. They all asked me when the bell was coming up, we'll bet Sarava back. I said, he has no chance.
Wow, 70
Said the same thing to someone sitting right next to me when that horse came through in the post parade. Horse can't win.
He was tough to make. I bet Medaglia d'Oro. He was like 13-1 or some big price.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Well, a horse that most people think will win it, of course. The only horse who can win the Triple Crown this year, that is Justify. Here's who he's going to be facing a week from Saturday, and he's going to be doing so with new silks. He won the Windstar Farm silks, the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown. He's going to be wearing the red and yellow of China Horse Club instead in the Belmont. Mike Smith will be, of course, so a little bit of a change there. Of course, Starlight Racing ahead of Plains Partners also involved. Here's a look at Justify on the track. This was Tuesday breezing at Churchill Downs. Wednesday had just a bit of a walk day.
I'm on the fence. You know, he's such a good horse, but can he win it? Will he win it?
I was on the fence till I saw this work. You know, he's done nothing with him. He's been so light with him. He was light going into the Preakness. He put 2 works into American Pharoah, and he's only put 1 work into Justify. I thought this was an energetic effort. I thought he looked good. His ears are forward. I'm not an expert, but to me, I still think he's the one to be.
Well, Bob Baffert, of course, arrived earlier in the week. Here's what he had to say about what he saw from Justify.
I basically didn't say anything at all to Martin during the work. He just had him down in a nice little groove. I was surprised how easy, you know, the time and how easy he was doing it. We just let him gallop out a little bit further down just to make sure he pulled up down there where Jimmy was. And he stopped, took a deep breath, turned around, and you know, that's when he was happy when he turned around. So. You know, that's what you want to see. I want to see that kind of work. I was hoping for that kind of work, just like American Pharoah. When he came back here, he looked like that. So we're just, you know, I wish the race is this week, you know, but we've got another week to go. But, you know, we look really, I think we're in great shape.
What's it say about the horse that was, you were looking for a quote-unquote little breeze, if that's a little breeze? I mean, most horses, that would be a huge breeze.
That was a little breeze, you know, but I mean, he's a great horse, and he was doing it, he was in hand, and I knew yesterday the way he was, I could tell he was ready to do something. He was pretty anxious, and the day before he couldn't do much with the rain. So this week with the rain coming, we're not going to be doing too much, so I just want to make sure we got a little air into him.
Well, everything seems to be all systems go for Justify. That's good news. He wishes the race was this week.
Well, I'll tell you what. After
I guess he wants to get it over with.
Yeah, after knowing Bob personally, that's part of it. I think he wants the race to be over with. But of anybody I've ever met, he has the beat on his horses more than anything. And to me, it sounds like he's a little bit more chipper going into this race than he was going into the Preakness. That sounded like he has some confidence.
Is there more pressure in a funny way to get the chance to win the Triple Crown or win the Triple Crown? You know, I think there's both, but in a certain way, you want to win that Preakness to give you a chance to do it, right?
Yeah, I always used to ask former trainers, do you want to be 1-5 or 15-1? You want to be 15-1 every time.
I want to be 1-5.
Yeah, and see, as an
owner, you want the better horse,
you want to be 1-5, but as the trainer, the pressure's sort of on you. You know what I mean?
Well, if you don't have the 1-5, you probably don't have the horse, right? So you won't have the you can't do it without the talent. Time for What's Trending. This horse had all the talent in the world, and he proved it on the racetrack. Bob Baffert with a visit to his Triple Crown champion, American Pharoah. Very cool shot right there. That was at Ashford to see his old friend.
You know, pretty cool stuff. I was able to witness him win the Triple Crown here at Belmont, and then watched him literally let 50 to 60 media people walk up to him and pet him. That does not happen with an animal like this. He was so brilliantly smart. He was so gentle off the racetrack, and Bob let him into a lot of fans.
He was a kind horse. A friend of mine once said you could blow up a grenade next to him in the paddock, and I don't think he would flinch.
He would just sit there. He was great.
Will Justify join him on the list as the 13th Triple Crown winner in racing history? We'll find out a week from Saturday. If you don't have the NYRA Bets app, now the time to download, because you'll earn a 10% winner's bonus on all your Belmont doubles all day long. The NYRA Bets app available for download in the App Store and for Android on NYRABets.com. Visit NYRABets.com for details on this promotion and all the daily promotions. Again, NYRABets.com. Going to take a break in the action. Catholic Cowboy for trainer Nick Zito. He knows a little something about upsets in the Belmont. He'll send out one of the favorites next.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live, you can bet all the great racing content at the click of a button with the NYRA Bets app. The app available for iPhones in the Apple Store and for Android by visiting NYRABets.com. You have access to depositing, betting, and watching live video as well as replays all through the new NYRA Bets app. Download the app today to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Race 7 approaching the 9-minute mark to post. We're going to check in with Gabby Gaudet. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farms, Standing Curlin for $150,000. Gabby?
Well, Greg, it's kind of like a tale of two stories in terms of this race. We have some horses who are old class, old hard knockers, and then some horses who have kind of maintained form at the claiming level. And the big question is, who do you trust in here? We'll check in with those old timers taking the drop-in class for the first time today, and one of them being the number 1 Catholic Boy for trainer Nick Zito. He arguably is the class of the race. You just look at the running lines. Paige McCanny's, Jay's Way, tons of class there. And to me, he looks better today than he ever has. The 3 Turco Bravo also taking a drop in class. Love how this horse's energy really picked up once the saddle went on, guys.
All right, Gabby, thanks. Horses coming out. Post parade coming up here in just a moment. 5-2 favoritism on Turco Bravo, but she is right there. Some old timers in here. Catholic Cowboy, 8-year-old. He actually broke his maiden back at the beginning of 2014.
Well, you know, you look at the board. I love Catholic Cowboy, and I always root for my friend Nick. It's an even board, and anyone can win this race. Catholic Cowboy runs back to his race 2 back. He's going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, he is. He's going to one they're going to have to hold off late, that's for sure. He's probably got the best kick in here.
Well, we're going to see him first as you hear the call to post behind us. Now 8 years old, trained by Nick Zito. Luis Saez will be aboard, and he actually ran in the Grade 1 Dawn once a long time ago.
In a race of droppers with good races or horses with recent form, he's one of the droppers.
9-2 on the son of Heat Seeker. Here is the 2 going strong. Joe Bravo for Gary Gullo.
Yeah, claimed by Gary 2 back and ran a dynamite race for 20. Got beat by the 6 in here, Combat Controller. See if he can turn the tables today.
The old timer of the group, the 9-year-old here, Turco Bravo. Jose Lezcano riding for David Canizzo.
He prefers a little more distance, but at 1 1/8 4 starts back, he ran a race that would absolutely blow this field out of the water.
Dogtown, the 4, Jose Ortiz, and a horse who was an 8-length gate-to-wire winner last start.
Yeah, this is a horse who's 34-1 too at this $25,000 level. They keep him here, and he does like this racetrack, and he does love this distance.
Nobody moved. The 5 for Rudy Rodriguez comes out of a stakes race in which he struggled sprinting at Aqueduct.
He's 3 for 8 on wet tracks, 1 for 20 on dry tracks. He did not get the rain his connections hoped for.
Combat Controller is the 6 for John Toscano off the claim. Trevor McCarthy rides.
Yeah, hot at the claim box. 4 claims in the last 10 efforts, and now lands in the John Toscano barn, like you said. Never off the board at the distance, so you're getting at least some value here at 11-1.
7 and 8, as you can see, scratch on the board. So that is our group here. 6-horse field, leg 2 of this late pick 4. Coming up, want to remind everybody, Belmont Stakes Festival next Thursday kicks off a huge pick 4 bonus from NYRA Bets. It starts Thursday, a 1 million point hitter split on the Belmont late pick 4. Friday, hitter split 2 million points. Saturday, hitter split 3 million points. And if you hit them all, huge 4 million point split. So 4 million points translates to $4,000. To have a chance, though, you have to play the Belmont late pick 4 starting next Thursday. Go to nyrabets.com for details. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back. Race 7 coming up. Can Catholic Cowboy reach back and find some old greatness?
Punches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole. But Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the Travers over American Fang. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, and Gabby Gaudet with you on this Thursday afternoon. I'm going to check in with Gabby right now with more on the field here for race 7.
Well, we're getting ready to go here, and as we see the money tick over to the number 2, Going Strong in terms of favoritism. And I like this horse. I pick him off of his form, just thinking that for Gary Gullo, the longer that he's in the barn, the more he's going to improve, as per the stats kind of show for the Gary Gullo barn. That said, and admittedly so, I'm not too familiar with how this horse looks on track in the afternoon. Only have seen him a handful of times. But one thing that I did notice is that he was getting pretty warm in the paddock, pretty warm on track side as well. I did prefer some other horses in terms of warm-ups on the track. Now, another horse, the 4 Dogtown, I have no idea where his last race came from or if he can duplicate that here today. And the big question is, where has he been since November after that blowout win? But I will say he kind of left the pony. His ears have been pricked. He's dappled. He has good works. He looks very fit. So does he really need to run back to his last race to win? Can he kind of take a step down from it? I think he can, but the biggest battle, I think, is going to be battling off the pressure of the 6 Combat Controller. But, guys, in terms of horses warming up on the track, I'd have to say the 1 Catholic Boy and the 4 Dogtown really kind of caught my eye.
Gabby, thanks. Yeah, there's a look at one of the horses that impressed Gabby. He does make a nice appearance in here. Last time out, he just ran a lights-out performance. This was at Aqueduct, the end of his 6-year-old campaign. And he wins by 8 lengths.
He's going to have to get the lead, and he's going to have to be able to outrun Combat Controller in here, and that's really the big question. Obviously, Paul, if he runs a race like this and he's able to control in the front end, he's a very likely winner, but it's such a big if.
It is a big if. He's one of those type of horses. If he's left alone on the front end, he could be any kind. He stumbled in the beginning of this race. It wasn't a bad stumble, but he was just able to get away from this group. He's got to be able to get away and break away, like 3-4 lengths for him to get brave. And I don't know if Combat Controller, the 6, is going to let him get that far away. Now, is he faster than him? You can argue, yeah, maybe a little bit, but Combat Controller is not too far off.
Bullet Drill just a week ago for the 4 Dogtown leading up to this, so it appears that he is in sharp form. We want to remind everyone, get signed up, started, and play with Naira Bets. $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of that and get that $200 in your account just for playing. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NairaBets.com for more information.
You know, I picked the 2 in here, Going Strong, but looking at the board and seeing 2-1 on Going Strong and 4-1 on the 1 Catholic Cowboy, I would rather bet Catholic Cowboy. I think that's the difference between public handicapping and being a bettor. And as a bettor, you're going to look at the odds at the end. Sometimes you'll bet a horse that you picked 3rd because, you know, you thought this horse would be like 5-1, and the horse goes 12-1. And to me, Catholic Cowboy is a good bet at 4-1, a better bet than the 2 Going Strong at 2-1, because Going Strong, Paul, it's just a horse that doesn't win. I bet him last time at 7-1. He had no excuse not to get up.
Yeah, he's 1 for 18 in the last 2 years, and I picked him too, just because I think he gets a good trip. Now, when I look at the board, I'd probably land on the 5 at 9-2, just because realistically dropping down for 25. I know it's a New York bred, but maybe the drop will help this horse. I know the horse was 50-1 last time out, but does have a good record at Belmont. Never off the board.
He had no shot knowing move, but last time. But he is a horse that really runs better on a wet track. A rare horse that really wants a wet track.
Now let's go back to May the 5th. Combat Controller, the other speed, who's going to be pressuring the 4 Dogtown in here. He faced Going Strong, the 2-horse today, back in this race. And this is where Going Strong would try and get there and just come up short.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. He's second off the claim for Gary Gullo, who already has a win at 16-1 today with a first-time star that ran big. Gary Gullo is 8 for 17, second off the claim in dirt routes. He could be 9 for 18, 50% if Going Strong wins today.
I thought that was a good effort. He tried.
Well, and there's going to be probably another horse softening up that pace a little bit on the front end.
Looks too easy, doesn't it, Greg?
That's the key. Does that horse soften it up? You know, does Combat Controller, and there is the 6.
How does he not go? And, you know, Turco Bravo isn't slow. He's supposed to be at least attending a little bit. I don't know. I still think Catholic Cowboy at 4-1 is the value here, personally.
We shall see. Does the 8-year-old still have it? Last ran in a stakes race. There he is for trainer Nick Zito.
The thing about the one, there's a lot of question marks in all these horses. The one hasn't won since 2015, somewhere in that area. There's a lot of horses in here. The 3's a 9-year-old. The 4 is a 6-year-old. I mean, are these horses going to improve? That's why the board's wide open.
Back to Catholic Cowboy for a moment. I know we're looking at part of the speed here with Dogtown, but I mean, look who he's been faced. He was in the Woodward a couple of years ago.
Our friend Nick Zito is not afraid to take a shot.
Yeah.
You didn't upset the Belmont with Datara if you're not afraid to put a couple horses over their heads, and Nick has been a giant killer in his day.
I mentioned those Belmont wins and upsets. Triple Crowns were on the line in both with Birdstone and Datara. We'll see if he can get a win here with Catholic Cowboy, the 1. The favorite, though, it's Going Strong, the 2 horse. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus. Take it away.
They're all in line. They're off. Nobody Move and Combat Controllers sent out of there with early speed. Dogtown and Catholic Cowboy away running 3rd and 4th. Turco Bravo is next. And Going Strong is last early on. Nobody Move sent to the lead by Javier Castellano. They're on top by 3/4 of a length. On the outside is Combat Controller. Catholic Cowboy has the rail. And Dogtown is behind them running in 3rd. 23:08 was that first quarter mile. Turco Bravo is 5th right now and racing 4 lengths from the front. And then Going Strong, who is trailing the field some 8 lengths off the lead as they continue up the backstretch. And it is Nobody Move on top by a length. Combat Controller on the outside, 2nd. Catholic Cowboy, Turco Bravo. Turco Bravo takes 3rd now. Catholic Cowboy coming under a ride from 4th. Then it's Dogtown and Going Strong at the back of the pack. 46 flat was the half mile for Nobody Move, who's on top as they round the far turn. It's a half-length lead. Combat Controller is running in 2nd. Turco Bravo is 3rd. Going Strong has made a bid now and has gone by 2 runners and is under a heavy drive while coming 4 wide after the pace-setting trio. Catholic Cowboy is next and being eased uphill out of the race is Dogtown. 3/4 in 1:10.34. Nobody Move off the turn in front. Going Strong on the outside, up into 2nd. And these two come to the 8th pole together. Going Strong on the outside, and Nobody Move battles on from the rail. They're nose to nose, a 16th out. Going Strong on the outside. Nobody Move keeps on fighting back. These two head and head, nose to nose, down to the wire. And it looked like Nobody Moved, edged out Going Strong at the finish. Turco Bravo was 3rd, then Catholic Cowboy and Combat Controller in 1:41.8.
Well, we showed you the backtrack of Going Strong last time out on May the 5th, right there with Nobody Move this time, and he could not put a nose in front.
Well, you lost $1,000, by the way.
Yeah, you did. We never shook on it.
You guaranteed Paul and I that the 2, Going Strong, the race was over, and Paul and I were saying, no, the 5's going to come back. The 2's got a lot of hang in him. I just, and listen, and the winner of this race, Nobody Move, you took 5-2 on him. Congratulations. They knew he was going to win. He was the speed, Paul?
He's
in a fast pace?
He's 1 for 20.
That was bizarre.
Yeah, that was bizarre that he went to the front end. And he got hit. Well, he's your favorite? Wow, that's crazy that he went down to your favorite. And he goes wire to wire.
Well, he's now 2 for 21 on dry tracks.
Maybe Easy-E came
back.
back.
The 2 horses
Nobody
who
moves.
have to
Nobody
have
get
the
hurt.
lead to win don't try and get to the front.
Well, Dogtown, to be fair, obviously had absolutely nothing today. So I get why he didn't have speed. I don't know. But the truth is, he went fast enough. It's not like he went 24:48 and he walked in the front end. He was moving. I mean, this is probably the fastest first quarter he's ever run in his life. They knew he was going to run well for Rudy Rodriguez. He was a drop down. Listen, he's not shocking. Paul used him in his pick 4.
Yeah, let's give credit to this horse, too. I mean,
he ran well.
I understand Going Strong, hung a little bit last time, might have hung here, too, but still, he held this horse off after being up front the whole race.
Yeah, that is the truth. And
fast pace.
A thing about it, again, is we talk about breds here, bred there. The New York bred has caught up to a lot of the other, I'm not saying that completely caught up to the Kentucky bred, but these kind of horses like Nobody Move, where that was claimed for 40, they drop in for 25 and fits at this level. And I still can't believe the horse got bet down to favoritism right before they sprung the latch.
It helped that Going Strong is a horse that now has 9 career seconds and only the 3 wins. He's obviously a horse that doesn't really like to finish the deal. But the reality is that doesn't take away from the good performance of Nobody Moving here. He set a very honest pace. The other speeds finished way behind, and he held on and he gamely outran the 2. Yeah, the 2 probably should have won. He hung a little bit on the money, but still, that doesn't mean the 5 didn't run well.
Yeah. because they were well clear. Hopefully everything okay, by the way, with Dogtown, who walked across the line. Hopefully everything is okay.
There's Gustavo Rodriguez, brother of Rudy, looking on, and he must like what he sees with that victory right there. 5-2 goes off as a post-time favorite for the victory. 5-2-3 finish. We're going to talk more Belmont Stakes when we come back at the coach, Dwayne Lucas. Bravazzo, he says, doing even better than he was going into the Preakness. Uh-oh.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Nobody move. Into the winner's circle, career win number 5. This horse really never has shown speed. Got to the front today and out-dueled Going Strong for the win. Let's go downstairs to Gabby.
Nobody Move gets the victory going wire to wire, and they did not go very slowly in the first part of it. Javier, were you surprised to be on the front end today?
I really surprised Gabby. I didn't expect it to be in the lead, but he brought so well out of the gate. Those kind of things, you have to go with the flow. When the horse is brought good out of the gate, you don't want to take it away out of the gate. Just to let it go the spot where you're looking for and then set. But I felt like nobody can pass me, and the way he did it, I know they went fast pretty quick, but the way he did it, they did it the right way. 46 and good gallop, feel comfortable. Went on for home. Every single step I asked, he keep going. I love that.
Yeah, what's it like to have that fight in a horse? Because he did not give up today.
Well, he held my line the top of the stretch, but one thing, and those kind of things, you gain courage when you ask your horses, and he responded. You get more into it, more emotion, and I knew I win the race.
Quickly, next up, you're on Cash. You told me off air that you have been on her in the morning. You breezed her recently. What are your thoughts going into today? Obviously, the first time on her in the afternoon.
Well, it's kind of horse that you always do pretty good work in the morning and very consistent. Let's see how he go in the afternoon. I know he got inside pole, the one hole. I think it's going to hurt a little bit, but let's see how he play and try to find the best spot in the race and try to win the race.
All right, we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Wow, great job by Javier Castellano, one of the absolute best in this game. Won 4 straight Eclipse Awards as the leading rider in the country. That streak came to an end last year with Jose Ortiz taking over the reins, but still one of the best in the game. Nobody moves. $7 for the win. Going Strong, Turco Bravo second and third in here.
Yeah, congratulations to Connections here. And how about Michael Dubb, who had a giant weekend, past weekend. He gets the W here. DeFunny Bone out of the Proud Citizen mare, Proud Lisa. There's your follow along. Factor this again, playing big. You know, Monamu and Nobody Move, it's going to be interesting. Even though Nobody Move was the lowest pick 3, he was 4-1 on the morning line. So we'll see how this plays out the last 2 races.
All right, got one more in the dirt and then back on the turf in race 9 coming up here in this sequence today. The Epsom Oaks and Derby, they're June 1st and 2nd. And you can bet the card on Naira Bets for 10 times the points. The famous Epsom Oaks and Derby always provide competitive fields and great betting opportunities. And it's now even better. You can earn more on every single bet you play. Visit NairaBets.com for details. Wild Illusion, the only Grade 1 winning filly in that group, worthy favorite for Charles Appleby. Definitely get down in those races coming up. Undefeated, 3 starts, 3 wins, 2 of them graded stakes by a combined 15 3/4 lengths. Analyze it. We'll talk next race coming up.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase, he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Justify has won the Kentucky Derby. Justify, he's unstoppable. He won the Preakness.
Justify going to have a full field waiting to go after him on June the 9th, a week from Saturday. And Bravazzo, he's going to be taking a return trip against him after that hard-charging second in the Preakness for 82-year-old Dwayne Lucas, the Hall of Famer, looking for a 15th victory in the Triple Crown Series. Bravazzo was back on the track, had his lone timed workout before the Belmont. Today at Churchill, 142-3 over the main track.
Listen, he's obviously a horse with the right connections that could win this Derby. He's run well in his last starts. I don't particularly like his chances, but I don't think he's impossible, Paul.
No, he's not impossible. When typical Lukey, the horse is running the Derby and the Preakness. Let's work the horse a mile and get some more fitness into him. But, you know, he's doing the same thing as Justify running in all 3 races, so it can take its toll on him. I'm against him. I think that a lot of people will like him and Hofburg to try to maybe beat him, Hofburg more than him. But I'm not a fan here. But I know Lucas is very high on this horse.
He is, and again, says he's even doing even better than he was going into the second leg of the Triple Crown. Here is the coach on Bravazzo.
We were just trying to let him stretch his legs and open his lungs a little bit, and we were hoping that he would relax, and so we're very pleased. It was textbook, yeah.
He was very forward, so he worked beautiful. Wanted to do a little more going down the backside, and then turning for home, he was kind of looking around like, where is everybody? So I had to get after him a little bit there, but it wasn't for lack of talent, speed, or heart. Like, he was just like, what's going on? Why am I out here by myself? So no, he was beautiful today. I couldn't ask for anything better from him.
Well, we don't have to do much now. We may let him catch his stride through the stretch. I don't know, we'll play it by ear, but we've got the luxury of a couple of days before we ship. And then when we get there, we'll see how things look and how he's acting. I don't make any plans that far ahead.
Got to be in it to win it. That is one of the favorite Lucasisms, and he is going to be in it on June the 9th, taking on Justify one more time. Bob Baffert said of Lucas, he's such a great competitor. There is no white flag in his barn.
He is always optimistic as well.
Well, he is, and he's going to keep on taking shots after shots. But you can't argue that this horse ran an okay Derby. He ran an okay Preakness, so why not run him in the Belmont?
No, I have no argument with that. I like Wayne. He runs. He shows up, and a lot of guys don't show up. Why not?
Well, and speaking of showing up, regardless of what happens at the Belmont for Bravazzo, he has an ambitious campaign going forward, looking at the Jim Dandy, the Travers, and the ultimate goal, of course, the Breeders' Cup Classic. So we could be hearing a lot from Bravazzo as we get on in the year.
And, you think of Will Take Charge a few years ago, a horse that had run some okay races. He tailed off a little bit around the Triple Crown Trail, but he came alive at Saratoga and had that big win in the Travers. Sure.
Well, we mentioned this race briefly earlier in the show. Just an absolutely loaded field in the Pennine Ridge on Saturday over the inner turf, mile and an eighth. Grade 3, and Analyze It for Chad Brown. This horse has just been sensational in his 3 career starts.
And here he is working with a pretty good horse, actually, at Beach Patrol. This is a freakishly talented horse so far, and if he shows up and runs his race trying to get a mile and eighth the first time, they're just not going to beat him. But he's got some serious competition.
Well, yeah, when you have horses in there like Untamed Domain and Catholic Boy, and you're listed at 4 to 5, you obviously have putting up some credentials, and he's working head-to-head with a Group 1 winner that's danced a lot of dances. So,
he's a multiple millionaire as well. Well, he's going to have to face a stout field, including Catholic Boy, one of the first 2 starts of his career on turf, including the Grade 3 with Anticipation at Saratoga, just the 2nd start of his career.
He got a very, very good ride in this race to get it done, and Untamed Domain actually ran pretty well. I think he finished 3rd in this race, and the 2nd place finisher is coming back as well, a horse for the Zayat. So we're getting a rematch with Anticipation. Catholic Boy, we'll see. He tried him in the dirt, and he ran well in the Remsen. Is he going to get back to the turf and be good enough? I'll tell you, based on the race at Del Mar, I prefer Untamed Domain.
That's a good question. That's actually a good answer. I have always liked Untamed Domain. He has issues at the gate. If he can get over that, that would be better. Catholic Boy, that was a great ride, man. He got a great split there. You always wonder how those horses, when they go back to turf, if they're going to be the same.
All right, race 8 coming up in just 13 minutes. There's a look at the field and current odds. We've talked a lot about Albarabello this afternoon for Todd Fletcher. 2nd time out, he was even money at Keeneland, and she absolutely aired by 6.5 lengths.
I got a question for you, Paul. Should anybody be 7 to 5 in this field?
No, not at all.
Well, Albarello is right now. For more on this field, we're going to send it to the paddock with Gabby Gaudet. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farms, standing Curlin for $150,000.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I'm going to answer Andy's question as should anybody be this heavily favored right now? And I think the answer is no. To be honest, I think this is a very competitive field, an evenly matched bunch of talented fillies. But we will check in with the 7 Albarabello, who is that heavy favorite right now. And she looks good. As we saw Johnny Velasquez earlier allude to the fact that she really switched things around in her 2nd start. She showed more speed. She was a bit more focused. So maybe she just needed one start under underneath of her belt. She ships up here from training down at the training center at Palm Beach Downs, which is in South Florida, and she looks great. I have no knocks, as per usual, coming out of the Todd Pletcher barn. Now, the one cash towards the inside, Javier Castellano made an interesting comment a moment ago saying that the rail could be detrimental for her, but really, I think that she could probably just sit a pocket trip. I love the turn back for her from a physical. She's always looked a little bit more on the sprinter side. She's really built up in the hindquarters, and she just has that sprinter type of speed, in my opinion. So I love the cutback for her, and she looks great coming in off of a little bit of a freshening last out in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. But the one horse who's really made a nice impression on me is the 6 Navajo for trainer Tony Dutrow. She's another one that's coming off a pretty sizable layoff. She was disappointing and attempted as a heavy favorite in there, but I know the Connections always really had high hopes on her, especially after breaking her maiden. Guys, looking at her in the paddock, she is rock solid. It does not look like she's missed a beat or any time off. So maybe keep an eye on her if the price is right.
Gabby, thanks. So 3-year-old debut for Navajo the 6, and all signs point to a positive in terms of the looks department from Gabby, with a horse who tried the Grade 3 Tempted in her final start of her 2-year-old campaign.
Obviously, something went wrong in the Tempted. I mean, she was 2-5 in an overlay on paper, and she didn't lose. She ran poorly. She's now off for over 6 months. Something went wrong. Her maiden win as a 2-year-old was good enough with routine improvement. This horse should not be 6-5.
Yeah, this one owned by the same group that's going to be trying to roll out Justify to be the 13th Triple Crown winner. And listen, first time out of Tampa, the horse broke a tiny bit flat-footed, and she ran on well. And then this happened at Keeneland from the 11 hole, and she was able to break last. And I think that helped her a little bit. Maybe it was able to help her gait issues, but no denying she's worked well out of this. This is a good race.
She ran fine. I mean, people get a little seduced by margins of finish. They see the horse won by 6.5. They go, oh, it must have been a great race. Well, she ran an 81 buyer. Now, an 81 buyer gives her a good chance to win this race, but it doesn't make her a 6-5 shot. Todd Pletcher has very good numbers coming off of maiden wins in dirt sprints, but he has an ROI of below $2, which suggests, like this horse, they're overbet and they're not delivering to their odds.
Related to AZ Warrior, Grade 1 winner of the Frizette here in New York for trainer Bob Baffert.
And Zayats.
Yeah.
So we look at Cachet for Mark Hennig, Distorted Humor
cash.
filly.
I've been told it's cash. We were arguing. We thought it was Cachet. I say it's Cachet, right?
Okay.
By the way, the 2, just a little fun fact for you. I used to play for the Albuquerque Dukes.
Okay.
They were the AAA affiliate for the Dodgers. Then they went to the Las Vegas 51s. You know what the Albuquerque is called now? They're called the Albuquerque Isotopes.
I like the one cash in this race. Cash or Cachet, I like this horse. This is a horse that broke her debut with some trouble at the start with a 79 buyer, very impressively for Mark Hennig. They tried to stretch her out. She didn't run that badly going a one-turn mile in Devona Dale. Last time the Gulfstream Oaks, she chased a hot pace that collapsed on a rail that wasn't particularly good that day at Gulfstream Park, and now she turns back to a sprint. It's a great move. It's a move Mark Hennig's going to do with Strike Power and our Woody Stevens on Belmont Day. I think it can work with both horses, and I think there's a good chance it works for Cash today.
Interested to see your thoughts on this horse, and especially the fact that the 5 great reviews taking no support at the windows right now off a huge effort at Gulfstream last out.
Well, I mean, if you just say, well, she ran a 95 buyer, winning by 6.5 lengths, the same margin that the favorite had, she's supposed to be the favorite in here. So why isn't she? Well, you look at the other horses in the race, and that buyer figure seems very high. The second-place finisher had run 62-69 prior to it, ran an 82, and then ran a 59 the next time. So it's hard to believe that figure. They were Florida breds. That's why Bill Mott shipped the Florida bred down there. She's okay, and she's probably not a bad bet at 6-1, but she's not likely to run that kind of figure in this race.
One race at Aqueduct in December was okay, but
not good enough to beat these.
It was a stalking trip that day, and she was able to grind away. Now, the 6.5 furlongs might help her late kick, but is there enough pace in here early? Because it looks like the rest of this field sort of wants to stalk, besides the outside horse, the 8, that might try to push towards the front end.
You would think that the 8 horse in this race, who's now 15-1, and that's New Year's Wish, she's an overlay right now. We're looking, though, at the 6 Navajo.
That's the one that Gabby liked the looks of quite a bit, the daughter of Union Rags in the paddock. There's Alba Rebello. First time in against winners for trainer Todd Pletcher.
They see those silks that Justify is going to wear, and they're going crazy. They think it's Justify.
Very short price.
No
And meanwhile,
no superstition there. Win 2 races with WinStar and then change.
I
the
know, isn't
silks?
that's a little bizarre. We kind of glossed over that storyline,
yeah.
but Mike Smith wearing
That'll
different
probably
silks for the third
gotta
leg.
That'll be the reason.
I've
Wrong-
never been that
wrong
silk.
silk.
Honestly, I would stay with what got you there.
I think it was anyone's silks but Sol Cummins.
Although that would be kind of neat if you have multiple owners wear different silks each race.
Maybe trade them off. They wear them and they
But
rip.
they've
Mike
already
rips it
gone
off
WinStar
mid-race.
first two. Cachet, that's what I'm going with. Daughter of Distorted Humor, Javier Castellano.
I like Cachet, as I said before. I love the turn back. She's talented. Her debut, very good.
I hope you put some money after that story you gave us on Isotope, the 2 here for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
I actually used Isotope. I think if the race breaks apart a little bit or falls apart, she can be sitting there and make a nice little run. She's a 4-time winner. You can't take that away from her.
11-1, a Naples Princess for Bill Mott as well.
1-2 for Bill Mott in this race. She seems a little slower than the other ones, coming off a 10.5-month layoff.
9-1 on She's the Berries, trained by Brian Lynch. Luis Saez aboard.
I'm surprised this horse is 9-1. She's never run a bad race, and she's another one that needs some speed in front of her.
Great reviews. Won 2 of her last 3 for Bill Mott, including that huge buyer number Andy talked about down at Gulfstream last
When
out.
she wins this race at a nice price, people say, how'd you not bet her? She had a 95 figure last time. I want to see it here at Belmont.
Navajo 3-year-old debut again did not fire in that grade 3 Tempted.
No, she didn't. She fired her other 2 starts. I think obviously something went amiss, and now they give her a little time for Woodford Racing, LLC.
6-5, Alba Rebello, the daughter of Bernardini for Todd Pletcher.
She ran well to break her maiden, and she is a major player in this race. She's just an underlay.
And underlay there, overlay here on New Year's Wish. More than double her morning line for Linda Rice.
Yeah, she beat a 4-horse field first time out, or 4 other rivals, and crushed. And then with 70 cents on the dollar, and just broke slow over at Laurel. You're getting a giant price on this filly by New Year's Day.
Alba Rebello, 6-5, the one to beat off that big effort at Keeneland. Can she transfer that form here to Big Sandy? We're going to find out when we come back. Stay tuned.
Eclipse champion Blaine notched over $4.3 million in earnings, including this historic victory over Zenyatta. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. Recent top runners include multiple graded stakes winner Fault and French Classic winner Senga. In the ring, his yearlings have sold up to $350,000. Among the top sires of his crop by lifetime graded stakes horses, his 2018 stud fee offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG, plus our featured 8th race. Up next, even money on the Todd Pletcher filly, Alba Rebello. For more on this field, let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Here with Mark Hennig, who sends out the #1 Cash, who we haven't seen since South Florida. But Mark, how's she doing since the Gulfstream Park Oaks?
She's doing well. We felt like, we kind of threw her to the wolves after she broke her maiden, not for any reason other than the allowance races weren't going down there at Gulfstream. So we felt like, maybe a turn back in distance and softer company was what she had deserved after doing those 2 races down there. So we're happy to have her back in. We're optimistic that the cutback will help her a lot, but it's still a competitive group.
It is a competitive group indeed. You draw the rail post position. Any concern about that?
She had the inside post when she broke her maiden. She was in the 2-hole. She's always been a little funny to load in the gate when there's not another horse already in there. So I was a little concerned about that, but I think she'll be all right. She's fine once she gets in there. It's just getting her there. Sometimes she's got a mind of her own, but, hopefully everything goes well with that.
Well, she's turning back in distance. So too is Strike Power, who's pointing for the Woody Stevens. Talk a little bit about him. Surely very talented, but have you always had kind of a thought in the back of your mind that distance might be limited for him?
We all had reservations, yes. Mr. Adam and I and Ernie Redamosa had talked about it. I mean, he said after the Fountain of Youth that if we don't win the Florida Derby, he didn't think we belonged in the Kentucky Derby. So kind of took a little pressure off of us going into the Florida Derby. And obviously, that was such a debacle, the way that thing was run, that, we just felt like it just reinstilled what we believed all along, that maybe ultimately his best distances were going to be at 1 turn.
All right, well, we're looking forward to him here, and best of luck coming up next.
Thanks, Gabby.
Back to you, Greg.
7-1 right now on Mark Hennig's filly from that inside post. Want to remind everyone, get signed up started. You can play this race right now. $200 new member sign-up bonus. To earn that bonus, just enter the promo code LIVE at sign-up. Bet $200 in 14 days and get that $200 in your account. Go to NYRABets.com to get signed up and started. Both Gabby and Paul like the 4 in here. She's the Berries.
We all like the little bit of a price in here, and the 7 was down to 3 to 5, now up to 4 to 5.
I'm sorry. This is silly that Alberobella is this price. She may win, but this is ridiculous. This is a very, very competitive field, and it's being bet like it's a 1-horse race. We'll see what happens on the racetrack.
We will find out. She has never faced winners. It's her first time doing so. Very short price, considering the win came out of town as well at Keeneland. And there's a look at her backing away.
Yeah, and you have other horses in here that have won 4 races, 1 horse, and another horse that's won a couple races. So she gives a little experience away, but obviously the talent's there the way that she's getting bet.
And again, those are the silks that Mike Smith's going to switch up and wear in the 3rd and final leg of the Triple Crown for China Horse Club.
It was interesting listening to Mark Hennig talk. He's doing the right thing, cutting these horses back in distance. Try for the Derby, try for the big races. They want to go shorter, and that's what he's doing with Cash. And Cash or Cachet, and I hope he gets rewarded. And I hope I win.
In is New Year's Wish, heavy favorite on Alberobella. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus, with the call.
They're all in line. They're off. Cash comes out quickly on the inside. She's the Berries. Great reviews now. Moving up alongside to challenge for the front. And Alberobella is right there too. The New Year's Wish on the far outside. Followed by Navajo, Isotope, and Naples Princess. Up the back stretch. And Great Reviews grabs the lead. Alberobella. Second on the outside. These two getting away now. New Year's Wish takes 3rd and Cash is back running in 4th after a 22.25 quarter. It's 3.5 back to She's the Berries with under a half-mile to go. Then Naples Princess at the back of the pack, making their way around the far turn. On the inside, Great Reviews. Just a narrow lead here. Leading the way over Alberobella in 2nd. Then New Year's Wish on the outside of Cash. 2.5 back to She's the Berries in 5th. And then it's Isotope, followed by Navajo and Naples Princess on the inside. 44.96 was the half. And they're into the stretch, and it's Great Reviews shaking away. Great Reviews pulling away to lead by 2.5 lengths here. Alberobella back running in 2nd. She's the Berries moves up on the outside. Then comes Cash, and making a late bid toward the rail is Naples Princess with Isotope, and they're coming down to the line, and it's Great Reviews. Great Reviews scores. Heads were up and down for 2nd. Alberobella or Naples Princess, and then Isotope in 116.53.
Great reviews. That Gulfstream Park form holds for this 4-year-old filly, and Bill Mott, I believe, just missed running 1-2 in this race.
I think
Very
he did
close.
run 1-2 unless he got bobbed.
Okay.
He got bobbed to the wire. You might be right, actually. The speed held up fairly well. She may not have run the 95 Beyer, but she probably ran a Beyer in the mid to low 80s, and it was good enough to win, 9-2. I didn't like her, but not an unfair price.
Yeah, you know, she sort of gets tired here towards the end. You're going to watch the 3 on the rail here, Naples Princess. She's dead last, and she starts to make that move at 27-1. Really the only one making ground. Seems like everybody's on a treadmill, including the horse in front.
Because it's amazing that the 7 in here, the way over bet Albero Bella here, because she basically looked like she was empty top of the stretch. You wouldn't have been surprised if she finished 5th or 6th in here, and she may have won the bob and held on for 2nd. But great reviews, you know, she did the dirty work, and the track's pretty quick, but she set a very quick pace in here as well.
Wow, it is very close for 2nd. It's the difference between even money shot to 27-1 shot.
Double or nothing on the 1,000, Yomi?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll take the 3 even on the 5. 7.
Okay.
I'm trying to let you win because you're not going to pay me anyway.
Exactly. Great reviews. This is a big performance, even though
big performance it is.
Obviously that big number last time out, but 9-2. I'm just surprised she went off at that price.
Well, I think that a lot of people recognized the figure was too high. The problem was, even if it was 10 points high, didn't mean she couldn't win in here. And I think this race came out the way, and you won, you're even now. The way this race played out was somewhat the way we talked about how it looked on paper. You had 5 or 6 horses very close together at the wire, and we talked about how competitive it was. And not to say Albero Bella couldn't have won, but she was overbet in a competitive race like this. She had no excuse.
No, not an excuse at all. And you know what? You end up running into a nice horse and great reviews.
5-7-3-2. Our show, of course, brought to you in parts by the great sprinter Run Happy, 2015 Sprint champion, undefeated at sprint distance in 7 for 7. Reeled off 6 in a row, including that Breeders' Cup Sprint in track record time. Sensational, all while running without the addition of Lasix medication. We're going to take a break in the action. More coming up. The finale is ahead. Stay with us. Back on Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Race 8 in the books, and it goes to great reviews. Trained by Bill Mott and ridden by the man standing by with Gabby Gaudet, Jose Ortiz.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, we were just kind of talking on air and saying, wow, that was pretty impressive today, huh?
Yeah, she did run very well. I'm very happy.
Were you surprised by kind of the pace dynamic? She was forwardly played, where she was on the lead last time out, but she was on the pace, taking pressure today.
Yeah, I mean, really surprised, but she broke really well. And I mean, the first 16 of them. I got that position. If I give it away, I'm going to end up with no position, so I keep it, and I'm glad it worked out.
Did she give you kind of a similar effort than what she showed last time out down at Gulfstream?
I think she improved today a little bit. She had to run a little harder today, and against better horses.
Yeah, and taking off pressure as well last time, wire to wire. Now coming up this weekend, Analyze It, coming out in the Pennine Ridge, probably one of the most impressive turf horses we've seen this year so far. What has impressed you most about him in the 3 races that you've been aboard?
Just his kick and his ability to ride too. Last time he ride very well, and I mean he got such a kick. You know, when you ask him to go, he's always there for you. And I mean he's really nice horse, really nice.
Does he seem like he just does it so easily?
Yeah, it reminds me of Oscar Performance when I was riding when he was 2-1-3. I mean, kind of the same kind of style they have, and they look alike to me, so it reminds me of him.
Oh, a very talented horse indeed. We're excited to see him this weekend, but congratulations on this one.
Thank you.
All right. Jose Ortiz smiling from ear to ear, guys, as soon as I brought up his name.
Well, Jose's been on board to Analyze It. Each of the last 2 starts, his older brother, Irad, was on for the debut, but cannot wait to see this horse back in action on Saturday.
He's a potential superstar.
Killer.
I mean, we'll see. And obviously, a horse, if he can get the 1.25 miles, will be tough to beat in our $1.2 million Belmont Derby, which we run on Stars and Stripes Day.
Great reviews. Takes the 8th in here, trained by Bill Mott, owned by Jack Hammer, and Jose, of course, aboard for the winning ride. Now 3 wins in 7 career starts for the 4-year-old filly by Loada Zanamo out of the Fortunate Prospect mare Flambe.
You like to put liquor on your food and set it on fire, right?
Anytime you do that, the meal just becomes better instantly.
It does.
Well,
Naira
puts
Betts,
liquor on all his food. Let's be honest.
or just have the liquor without the food. Naira Betts, late pick 5 follow along, pulled 37,000 plus, and now we get another price in here.
Yeah, you do. And the lowest you could do is about $1,000 to your 2 favorites, which are the 5 and the 8. The 7 at 7-2 is like your second choice right now. You get about $3,000 if you're able to get to that one. So good pick 5 payoffs.
Speaking of the pick 5, on Belmont Stakes Day, a $1 million guaranteed minimum payout if you're the only winning ticket. Play through Naira Betts. Must play afternoon through Naira Betts. There it is. Oh, incredible. I've been purposely like playing as small as I can to save all my bankroll for that day. Go big.
I've been blowing money every day, but I'll still have money on Belmont Day.
Well, it's a good, hey, you could build a bigger bankroll to have more to play with that day. So that happens. That is a must-play afternoon. 6 grade 1s on the card on that tremendous day of action that really feels like a Breeders' Cup sort of atmosphere. Of course, we'll have a triple count on the line as well. That's something, too. Mind Your Biscuits going to be back in action in the Run Happy Met Mile. This is the performance in Dubai.
He was terrific in here, and, you know, he made that incredible run. He's not even in the picture now to run down pretty good horses, including Roy H. last year's Sprint of the Year. The question with him is not his talent. The question is twofold. Can he come back and run his race as tough as the Met Mile, his first time from Dubai, a little over 2 months after it, and is he going to be as effective at a mile? He was second the Cigar Mile last year, but a distant second.
He's a tough read. He really is, because before he has so much that you would think, okay, he wants that mile. He wants to keep on going. Then he threw in a couple clunkers. Then he came from so far back in Dubai. Is that going to take sting out of him here with this big, long mile? That's a really tough question to answer. It really is till he runs it. It really is.
He has to be considered the favorite. He's the most accomplished horse in the race. He's a terrific horse. Chad Summers done a great job with him. But there are some questions, and this is a pretty tough field. There's some interesting players in here.
One of them, of course, the 3-year-old. You've been talking to us over the last few weeks, Andy, about the success of 3-year-olds in the Met Mile. Bolt Doro trying to follow in those footsteps.
I love when connections make the right move, and then I hope they get rewarded. Because this is the right move. I don't care where he finishes. You turn him back. You run a race like the Run Happy Met Mile, which is worth a lot of money as far as stallion prospect, and he deserves to come back. He was too close to the pace in the Derby. I think Bolt Doro is a big player.
No, he's a giant horse, and you can argue again, him and Good Magic by far were the best 2-year-olds going into this season. He had a stop on him in training, did Mick Ruiz. A couple times he had some issues. He ran great to me in the Santa Anita Derby, chasing Justify around. I'm with Andy. He was way too up in the pace. Even when you asked Mike Smith said he turned around and saw Bolt Doro behind him in the Derby. So when he saw him up that close, he knew that, oh, we must not be going that fast, or they're going fast behind me. He couldn't believe that he was even up that close. So I'm with Andy. The horse wants to be farther back, but the 1-turn mile is good for him because he could show a lot of kick late.
I agree, but there is a horse in here named B Jersey that's sort of on some people's radar that might be on people's radar after the Unhappy Met Mile.
Sensational race, a stallion-making race, and part
My
of a
favorite race of all
tremendous
time. Love that race.
card that we're very much looking forward to. The Manhattan, Grade 1 Manhattan, of course, part of that lineup as well. Hi Happy in the Grade 1 Man of War, able to get a Grade 1 victory here in the U.S. after being a multiple Group 1 winner in Argentina.
Confusing race, Andy, because I bet had High Happy this race. Top of the lane, I thought I was dead. I really did. And then when he hit him right-handed, he sort of leveled out and took off. And then Sadler's Joy, again, we always talk about this. He has to be time perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Sadler's Joy, we'll see if the 1.25 miles is a little short
pace
for
for
him.
him,
Right. I mean, obviously, High Happy's natural speed gives him advantage because he can make his own trip. But it's a funny situation. He's really improved for Todd Pletcher. And normally you've got Chad Brown, who dominates in the turf race, and Todd Pletcher's more on the dirt side. While Chad Brown has a very tough two-headed monster in here, he's got to deal with Todd Pletcher, which is rare in our Grade 1s in the turf these days.
Yeah, Beach Patrol going to be back in action, of course, for Chad Brown. Just missed a High Happy in that race that we just showed you. He just brings it every single time, and we'll see if he can break through, trying to win a race that he's not yet won, the Manhattan.
It's going to be very interesting whether they push the button on Beach Patrol to keep High Happy a little bit faster early and see what happens.
I think he's faster than High Happy early.
Yeah,
and, you know, talking to Chad Brown about his last race at Churchill Downs, where he ran very well and he lost to Yoshida. Don't know why his connections are going over to Ascot for less money, and a race will be a much bigger price. But he doesn't have to deal with Yoshida. And Chad felt, I kind of was worried because I knew the Copper, the speed, but Shining Copper, didn't think he'd hold on in that race. So I didn't want Joel to move too soon with him, but it allowed Yoshida to get outside of him, and it put him in a tough spot. We'll see what happens here, but he will be forwardly placed.
Yeah, he will be.
Phillies, tremendous names all coming to this day of action as well. Monomoy Girl, your Kentucky Oaks winner, looking at the Acorn, and this is a look at that performance.
Love that it's the Kentucky Oaks winner against the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Phillies winner. That's a really cool matchup, and what a horse she is.
From post 14.
Listen, Wonder Godot gave her all she can. Wonder Godot's in front right here. I mean, really is, and she gave her all she could handle, but Monomoy Girl showed her class and won over. As you can see, as soon as Wonder Godot went back to her wrong lead, she got a tiny bit tired. It's still a tough thing to pull to win the Kentucky Oaks and the Acorn.
Looking for 3 straight Grade 1s?
Yes, but she's got the right trainer and the hottest trainer right now behind her.
She will have a stranglehold in the 3-year-old filly division if she's able to win the Acorn, and it would take a major, major event by others for her not to win the title.
Once again, it is a must-play day. $1 million guaranteed single-ticket payout if you play it through NYRA Bets. That late pick 5 on Belmont Stakes Day. NYRA Bets customers only. Take advantage, get signed up, and be part of that promotion.
You don't have to live in New York either.
Yep. The only way to play it, if you're not in New York, through NYRABets.com. Finale coming up from Belmont Park. We'll have the post parade right after this. Stay tuned.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including 2017 Eclipse champion 3-year-old West Coast. A dominant winner of the Grade 1 Travers and Pennsylvania Derby, West Coast also placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and was runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. In the sales ring, Juveniles by Flatter brought up to $600,000, and his yearlings sold up to $460,000. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back here in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern, Bayern holds on. won the Kentucky Derby. Justified, he's unstoppable. He won the Preakness.
List of winners of the Triple Crown. And that one right there, Citation, the only Triple Crown winner to win the first 2 legs on off tracks. Justify looking to join him.
Well, Justify looking to join Seattle Slew is the only undefeated horse to win the Triple Crown, and then the only horse to be undefeated without running as a 2-year-old as well, so he'd be bucking a lot of trends.
But Seattle Slew won on my birthday, and it won't be my birthday this weekend, so can't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Mile on the Turf of the finale coming up. New York Bred's $40,000 maiden claiming events. For more on this group, time for a paddock report with Gabby Gaudet. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, Standing Curlin for $150,000. Gabby? I'll try and get back to Gabby in a moment. A little technical difficulty there in the paddock. 5-2 favoritism on Sardonyx now on the outside for David Donk. Dropped into this level, guys, last time out. Added blinkers. Sent off as a modest favorite. Did run better, but still has to improve.
Sardonyx is the worst to beat because of the competition. Let's be honest. It's not a particularly strong field. Is the best horse of those that have run.
Well, to put it this way, the horse was 3.5 to 1 off a 51 buyer and ran a 54 buyer with the blinkers on. So it just shows you what was in that field. Not much. Now, when you get to the 7 in here, you know, this is a horse that was 4.5 to 1 first time out for this level. Now switches trainers and got left in the gate. Really no effort, and you're getting 4 to 1 today.
Well, I mean, I took a small shot with her just because I didn't want to take either the 5 or 8 at very short prices in here. She broke about a length slow, and she got bumped hard after that. There's the 4 in here, Saratoga Sass. I don't know, it's a first-time starter.
Yeah, out of a damn Justabella, whose only win actually came at Calder sprinting on the dirt, and she was 0 for 4 in the money on turf.
Carlos has a win already, and there is the 8. This gray filly by Freud. I guess the one thing you could say is she got something out of her efforts. If you look at her other races, she was in full fields, but 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th, and people kept buying in. They kept playing her 8 to 1. 8 to 1 off those bad finishes. So obviously in the morning she shows them something, but not in the afternoon.
You only have to beat the horses you're lined up against, and the reality is that based on what she's done, she's the worst to beat.
Meanwhile, a look at Lady Rosina for Jeremiah Engelhart. Manny Franco meets Leading Rider will be in the iron, 7-2 right now.
She's the second likeliest winner based on her last race. She ran a maiden special weight. Now, keep in mind, she's moving into a maiden claimer for New York Breds. The horse that won that race, Cumbria, was the favorite here in the last race on Monday, and she backed up fairly badly, finished 3rd. So she didn't run as well in her next start. That's a knock on her. Having said that, looking at the competition, how can she not be considered a main player?
3 runners, the dam is thrown, a combined 1 for 19 on turf.
Really?
But she's run on turf, and she ran well enough to win here.
6 to 1, or excuse me, 7-2, I should say, on Lady Rosina's. We take another look at Saratoga Sass, first timer here for brought up Carlos Martin, the trainer of this 3-year-old filly by Courageous Cat.
Well, she's actually a full to Hollywood Cat, who won earlier today. So if she wins, we'll have full sisters that won on the same card.
Didn't we just have that? Well, we had
the half sisters that won the stakes on Monday.
They won the stakes in the day. Wow.
Both for Michael Dubb, right?
Yeah.
No, both for Linda Rice. One of them was Holiday Disguise.
Oh, you're right.
One for Sheila Rosenblum.
$200 new member sign-up bonus. Go to NYRaBets.com. Play any track, anywhere, anytime. Use the promo code LIVE to get that $200 in your account to new members only. Get that promo code LIVE at NYRaBets.com. Here is our post-parade, the remaining half of the entrance. Going to break in the middle of the field here. Frosty Lynn's a second-time starter.
Well, they're trying the turf for the first time. She has a half to 1 horse that won on the turf at a 4 that tried it. Not much.
The rail is going to go to the 2 here. Protect the King for Leo O'Brien.
Yeah, about a little bit under 45-1 first time out, and sort of got the same pedigree as the one in here, Frosty Liz.
Jump ahead to the 7 here. Geranium for trainer Thomas Bush and Jose Ortiz.
Trainer switch from Christophe Clement to Tom Bush. Probably a lateral move. Both very good trainers after a little trouble, but no run at 4-1 in her debut.
Back to the 3 here. Shana Passi for Gary Contessa, and could see speed out of this one.
Speed seems to be about the only thing she really has on paper. Tried the turf sprinting and tired in those races and now stretches out.
7-1, taking a little bit of play. Saratoga Sass, the firster for Carlos Martin with Pablo Fregoso aboard.
Yeah, Fregoso going to look for a double on the card. This horse is taking sneaky money and has a sneaky turf little pedigree.
Here's Lady Rosina. Courageous Cat filly for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
Obviously, based on her last race, she has to be considered one of the worst to beat. She's one of 2 covering the pick 6. All others besides the 5 and 8 carryovers.
And she drops in for a tag for the first time as well. The 6, Just Enough. Hope Dylan Davis aboard.
Yeah, she just hasn't shown much. She shows a little bit of git, but she shows no stick at all. I mean, I'm surprised she's even 16-1 and actually getting played here.
And who are we looking at here? There's the 8 Sardonyx, so 2-1 on the current favorite on the board, David Donk. Irad Ortiz Jr. dropped to this level, lowest level she'd been at yet last time out, and wound up a distant second.
Yeah, you can see the blinkers that they added to this gray. It must have helped. She moved up a tiny bit, and she's the one to beat on paper.
I just saw the 7 here. Aggressive warm-up without the pony for the daughter of elusive quality. 5-1 on the board with more in Geranium. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Well, the 7 Geranium, as we noticed, kind of walked out to the track behind the 2 and in front of the 3. She was really, really acting up when they were putting the saddle on her in the paddock, and then was kind of gawking when the time was coming to walk out to the main track. But since then, as you mentioned, Jose Ortiz just really gave her a pretty aggressive warm-up, leaving the pony, trying to get some of that energy out of her, and she looks a lot better. She's acting a lot better since she's made her way onto the track. Now, the 4 Saratoga Sass is another one who's been behaving a little bit better, but she too got a very aggressive warm-up. As soon as they turned around, Pablo Fregoso, the rider, just really kicked her on the wrong way and really picked up a pretty strong gallop. So interesting to see how much speed she shows here today in her debut. I don't mind her as well. I think that it's interesting that she is taking a little bit of money, and she definitely does look fit. So a curious race coming up, guys, I will say. Don't have a lot of confidence in this one, though.
5 minutes to post here. Nightcap coming up. We're going to have it for you live in a few moments. New York Racing Association lost a dear member of its family this past week when John Mazzi passed away earlier in the week. If you've watched any New York racing over the years, you've definitely seen his work. He said he played the drums as a cameraman covering horse racing. You got to have a little rhythm as a cameraman.
One of the nicest people, not only have I ever the pleasure of working with, but ever being around. Everybody that knew Mazzi was a friend of Mazzi's, and he was extremely popular. I can't say enough good about him, and he'll be sorely missed, and obviously our condolences to his family. He retired a couple of years ago from here, and as you said, Greg, his pan cameras are legendary. I mean, he did a great job with that. Original cameraman at Harvey Pack show at night. Just been around for a long time with us at NYRA, and a great loss, but a wonderful person.
Yeah, that was back in 1981 when he started out with that studio show with Harvey Pack. Said his favorite moment that he actually captured on camera, the Woodward with Rachel Alexander. Said he never heard a racetrack that loud. He said he could even hear it through the headsets he was wearing. He will be missed. We'll be back.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus on a foggy Thursday afternoon. We got one more to go here at Belmont Park, 1 mile on the turf. New York breds in a $40,000 maiden claiming event. You see a picks from our analysts in the 7-horse. Andy Serling selection, that is Geranium, second start, now with a new barn, Thomas Bush.
Need more than 9-2 to get out for today's selections. You know, it's a weird switch from Christophe Clement to Tom Bush for the second start, but it's a horse that broke a little slowly and was badly bumped after the start, and sometimes it just knocks it out of a horse and drop completely out of the race. Now, in all likelihood, Geranium is a better horse than she showed in her debut. The question, of course, is how much better is she?
Out of a graded stakes place dam on turf in the Grade 2 Beverly Hills, Grade 3 Wilshire, Charming Legacy. Hit the board in each of those two. Meanwhile, Sardonyx, the 8, 2-1. Holding is the favorite. The price getting even shorter now on a horse who ran, a very distant second on the drop down in class.
It's tough to take that, especially when they drop to this class and they get beat by 7.5. But I get it. She was 4.5 lengths clear of the other runner.
There's no guarantee a repeat of that wins here, is there?
No, but it's going to make her the horse.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, it's hard to take 2-1 on horses like the 5 and 8 because you look at their PPs and you go, what am I betting on here? Exactly. But then you start looking through the other horses and say, well, there's a chance that the other horses just can't really run at all, and the 5 and 8 may run 1-2 by default. I'm not running to bet them. Obviously, I tried to find an alternative, but there's no guarantee the horse I'm betting can run.
You thought the price was short on Alba Rebello. I mean, at 2-1 to me is short on Sardonyx.
No, see, I disagree completely. Sardonyx has one of their horses.
No, I didn't like that price either on Alba Rebello.
No, I know, but I'm saying that Alba Rebello was even money in an 8-horse field where they all could run. This horse is 2-1 with another horse 9-5 when nobody else in this race may be able to run. So I think the 8's a better bet at 2-1. I'm not running to win it or better. I bet the 7.
Yeah,
but I don't think 2-1's a bad price.
No, the 2 horses that should be bet, they're getting bet. 9-5 on the 5, 2-1 on the 8. But we'll see a couple of X factors runner in here. Maybe the 7 Geranium can step up.
The 3 maybe could show some speed. And then the first time forward to the 4, you don't know what you're getting with the 4.
Let's see if this 3 maybe can steal it on the front end.
I would say if the 4 was really good, it would be bet. Carlos Martin likes to tell his friends when he likes his horses, especially firsters.
Here's the finale from Belmont Park. If you are alive, and whatever you may have played today, good luck to you. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus with the call.
They're all in line. They're off. Just Enough Hope goes out to lead them early. And then it's Chennai's Posse away running in second with Frosty Linz going up there too. These 3 out to the front together. Just clear of Lady Rosina, who came out in 4th, and Protect the King on the inside, who now grabs 4th from the rail. And then it's back to Geranium and Sardonyx, and last of them all is Saratoga Sass. Up the backstretch, and it is Chennai's Posse in front. The leader up the backstretch by 3/4 of a length. On the outside is Just Enough Hope. Frosty Linz is down toward the rail. Protect the King follows in 4th behind them. And then it's Lady Rosina, followed by Geranium. Sardonyx is 8 lengths from the front as they continue up the backstretch clear of Saratoga Sass, who's at the back of the pack. 23.5 was that opening quarter mile as they make their way into the far turn. And it is Chennai's Posse on top, the leader by a length. Just Enough Hope on the outside is running in second. Now going up is Geranium on the outside. Geranium takes second, now within a half length. And here's Sardonyx with a rush on the far outside. And Sardonyx is coming 3 wide toward the pacemakers here. Chennai's Posse, Geranium, and Sardonyx across the track. Lady Rosina behind them running in 4th. Just Enough Hope backpedals on the inside in 5th. And they're into the stretch. Sardonyx and Geranium, and Sardonyx on the outside, a slight lead. Geranium battles on from the rail. Center of the course, Lady Rosina coming to get them now. It is Sardonyx, Geranium, and Lady Rosina on the far outside, and Lady Rosina runs on by. Lady Rosina is pulling away here under Manny Franco. Sardonyx was second, and then Geranium and Frosty Linz in 136.08.
Lady Rosina dropping in for a tag for the very first time. Gets the win here for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
Well, Jeremiah gets found an easier field for her than last time out. You know, you could also argue that Manny Franco gave a very good ride here. He was the most patient. The 7, you could argue that perhaps she moved a little bit soon and wide with Jose Ortiz, not saying she was going to win. And maybe Sardonyx Irad went after his brother a little bit, and Manny Franco sat back and made the last move. And the last move in turf racing, often the right move.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much separation from these fillies. I think what you can take out of it is the 5 got nothing out of her first race, got a lot out of the last race, and won. Where if the 7 would have got anything out of her first race, she might have won this race. And now you know that the 8's a hanger, because here's the deal. You see this so many times in horse racing. The 8 was never going by the 7. But as soon as the 5 went by the 8,
Yep.
the 8 started chasing the 5. That's the way herd animals are, or pack animals are. But don't take any away from the winner, Lady Rosina. And if you had that Naira late pick 5, I want to believe it's like around $1,200. Pretty good score.
Yeah, I mean, there were, you know, sort of logical horses and a tough horse to start it out. And, you know, the pick 6 was hit. The 2 logical horses ran 1-2 it here. A horse like the 7 Geranium, I bet, she's supposed to win because she ran today. You know, she showed her last race was a fluke. She's obviously a much better horse than that. And my feeling when I bet a horse like Geranium is, if she shows up, she's going to beat the 5 and 8. Well, you know what? She didn't.
But here's my thing to you, Andy. If she gets anything out of that last race, you don't think she wins the race?
I don't think that's an unfair point you're making, but as far as my feeling is, she showed up today.
Yeah,
she
I
ran.
understand.
She's supposed to get the money. I'm happy I bet her at 9-2. It was the right horse to bet on. She just isn't very good.
Lady Rosina does get the win. Career start number 3 here. Manny Franco having a tremendous Belmont meeting. Teaming up with Jeremiah Engelhardt, who's having a good meeting himself.
Courageous Cat, you know, turned out to be a really good sire. He was a tremendous miler. Like I said last week, he ran to Golakova a couple times. One time at Santa Anita. But again, you can watch that the 8 just cannot put the 7 in the way. The 7 is battling back. And when that happens, you got the 5 in the center of the racetrack, free all to himself. And there's just nothing those 2 horses on the inside can do. The 5's just going by.
And nobody else was even close to these 3. They were much
I want to say
better.
the 1 Frosty Liz rounds out your chalky little super facto. I get 19-1 there for 4th.
Manny Franco, another victory for the meet's leading rider. And this Thursday card in the books. We'll wrap it up with prices when we come back after a short timeout.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live as we see Lady Rosina get the victory in the nightcap here with the jockey, Manny Franco. And Manny, just talk a little bit about the race. Did you see the pace kind of unfolding in front of you? Did it give you a little bit more confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I saw they break out of there running, and I knew the pace was fast for these kind of horses, and I just decided to sit on her and give it a little bit of shot, and work out good.
Found that she liked being in the clear, just kind of running free in the middle of the turf.
Yeah, I mean, but the horses in front came back to me too, and I just keep my way, and she passed in and won.
All right, well, congratulations here.
Thank you, Gabby.
All right, Manny Franco just keeps on winning.
Yes, he does. He's having a great meet, great young rider that still has a lot of upside.
I'll ask you this question. Over the last 2 years, I know the Ortiz brothers are upper echelon. Has he grown the most, Manny Franco?
I think they've all grown, all three of them. I mean, you could argue that Irad was ahead of both his brother and Manny a couple of years ago, though both of them had promise. I think Manny's made the most progress this year. I've always loved Manny as a rider, and he's a very promising rider, terrific young man as well, but he's really coming to form now.
He's become a really good turf rider, which I think a lot of people out there don't realize. You can become a good turf rider and not a good dirt rider, or it's hard to do both. He's becoming a good turf rider.
Usually that comes a little later in your career as you get more knowledgeable and been through a lot of those races. You saw that Naira Betts late pick 5 payout. Another good one with 3 races in that sequence that we had favorites win.
Yeah, you had to get to the 7-1 shot to start. That was the longest shot on the board, but still another great payout. And you got to get involved on Belmonte.
Bet the Naira Betts late pick 5 tomorrow. You can be back at it with the Naira Betts app. Place bets, watch replays, see results, and bet from anywhere. Go to NairaBets.com for details. In the 8th race, our feature, great reviews for the Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott. Jose Ortiz getting the win. Rest in peace to John Mazzi. He will be greatly missed. Longtime member of the New York Racing Association family. Hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back same time. Actually, we're back 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Oh, yes.